Christmas Mall Madness. This is the second biggest shopping day of the year. Stores packed, the rush to return billions of dollars in gift fails and redeem all of those gift cards. We'll show you the new program that could help you get exactly what you want.
Holiday hack, the new cyber attack on your video game console. As the movie, The Interview, hit sold-out theaters for the first time, the new concern this morning that hackers are expanding their attack.
I was down on the ground, and it was on my back, biting me.
Incredible. In her own words, the teenage girl speaking out for the first time on how she fought back against a bear in a terrifying attack and how her pet dog saved her life.
And miracle on the L. Philadelphia subway riders witnessed the surprise birth of a Christmas baby. We hear from the first responders who came to the rescue to make that special holiday delivery.
From ABC News, live in Times Square, Friday, December 26th, 2014. This is Good Morning America.
Actually, I think it might be. Hey, good morning, everybody. I'm Dan Harris alongside Paula Ferris. We've got the whole crew here, Rob Marciano, Ryan Smith, TJ Holmes, the usual crew. They're at home with their family here with the post-Christmas shopping onslaught. Millions of us heading back to the mall today. It's all about returning those unwanted gifts and hunting for those big post-Christmas clearance deals. ABC's Lindsay Janis is at a Best Buy right here in Manhattan. Good morning to you, Lindsay.
Good morning, Dan. It may not have a name like Black Friday or Super Saturday, but make no mistake, today is going to be huge. The second busiest shopping day of the year. And this season has been pretty good to retailers, with sales expected at just over $600 billion. It's expected to be about 4% better than last year.
This morning, millions of merrymakers will shake off that post-present after-dinner haze and hit up yet another crazy day of long lines and deep discounts. And it's all fueled by those gifts we didn't ask Santa for but got anyway. While many stores will give you until the end of January to bring back your ill-fitting duplicate or just plain unwanted gifts, retailers are expecting $65 billion worth of returns and exchanges today. This year, the day after Christmas is expected to be the second busiest shopping day of the year, right behind Super Saturday.
I think today is the day to shop. One, it's a Friday. You have time to work with. Two, you've got inventory to work with. And you've got retailers who are saying, get this stuff off our hands.
For retailers who are expected to just barely hit their holiday sales goals for the year, all that traffic represents one more chance to tempt us with post-holiday deals and to motivate us to use the season's #1 present. $32 billion worth of gift cards.
A lot of people have gift card buying power in their pocket. It's burning a hole. So I would encourage people, get out there, use those gift cards, take advantage of that.
And if your stocking was stuffed with plastic from too many different stores or stores you don't like, Walmart is testing out a program to help you streamline. The retail giant now offering up to 97% of the value of unwanted cards in exchange for a Walmart card with no fees and no expiration date.
40% of us are expected to return at least one Christmas gift. Remember, most stores will give you until the end of January. Electronics are a slightly different story. Here at Best Buy, you'll have until January 15th. But Paula, the important thing is you don't have to go out today. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, it is going to be crazy. I think it's best to wait a couple of days, or else I could just have you do all of my returns right now, Lindsay.
Thanks, no way.
We are looking at travel for the next several days because this is the time of year, right? Start you off with not only the rain and snow, but the snow, for starters. In Salt Lake City, we've got the snowblowers out. They had their first big snowstorm of the year. And in Denver, Colorado last night, also snow piling up. And they are watching that snow come down today. We've got winter storm warnings and advisories that now stretch all the way to Minneapolis, Minnesota. So through the plains is where the snow is going to head today. Generally speaking, it's going to be light, but also it's going to make for some slick roadways, no doubt about that. And then the flooding down across the south, New Orleans under a flash flood watch through the weekend for this storm system that's going to tap a lot of Gulf of Mexico moisture. And the orange indicates areas that could see over 3 inches of rainfall, and that will stretch up the I-95 corridor as well. And then the colder air is going to be sliding in. And by this time on New Year's morning, temperatures will be a good 20, maybe even 30 degrees cooler. So
across America, packed on Christmas Day, people coming out in droves to see the film the hackers did not want us to see, The Interview, the latest buddy comedy from Seth Rogen. So after all the fear, all the threats of violence, how did it go? ABC's Brandy Hitt is on the story from Los Angeles. Brandy, good morning.
Good morning, Dan. Theaters like this one were packed on Christmas Day. A lot of moviegoers saying The Interview may not be the best movie of 2014, but they wanted to send a message by buying a ticket.
It's showtime.
Showtime indeed. Sony Pictures' lightning rod comedy, The Interview, premiering in 300 theaters across the country Thursday, capping weeks worth of controversy, backlash, and threats. One of the blockbuster's leading stars and co-directors, Seth Rogen himself, visibly excited.
We thought this might not happen at all.
Surprising a crowd of eager moviegoers at his local Los Angeles theater in the early hours of Christmas Day. President Obama even weighing in from a Hawaii golf course while on vacation.
I'm glad it's being released.
Less than a week ago, following growing threats by hackers to carry out a 9/11-style attack on theaters, Sony pulled The Interview, but backpedaled. In video obtained by ABC News, Sony Entertainment CEO Michael Linton explaining the ultimate decision to go forward with the release.
It was essential for our studio to distribute this movie, especially given the assault on our business and on our staff.
It would have been a major black eye for the company had they not done so.
Sony first releasing the film online Wednesday, but those digital downloads didn't detract from crowds at theater premieres hours later. Hundreds of screenings sold out in less than 24 hours.
God bless America.
This crowd in Atlanta couldn't help but sing along to God Bless America. But the reception isn't all rosy.
What did I think of it? It was ridiculous.
Kim Jong-un is a master manipulator.
A North Korean diplomat to the United Nations telling the Associated Press Wednesday his country opposes the film's release, calling it an unpardonable mockery of their sovereignty and dignity of their supreme leader.
They hate us because they ain't us.
Well, some theaters even erupted into applause at the end of The Interview, but Sony likely won't be celebrating any big numbers at the box office. Some analysts predict this film will make maybe $3 to $4 million over the holiday weekend.
Threats against police officers since 2 officers were killed in cold blood last weekend. One will be laid to rest tomorrow, and ABC's David Wright has the story.
This morning, a disturbing trend. The NYPD is investigating some 40 cases of people threatening more violence against the police. Many of them turned out to be idle threats, but there have been at least 6 arrests. In one case, a man was overheard at the bank saying they should have killed 2 white cops, not an Hispanic and an Asian. He also allegedly said he'd kill a white cop by Christmas. At his home, police recovered 2 guns and a set of brass knuckles. In another, a suspect allegedly called the 84th Precinct, where the 2 slain officers served, falsely identifying himself as the gunman who killed them. The crank caller now charged with making terrorist threats. New Yorkers continue to pay their respects here at the corner where the 2 officers were gunned down. On Christmas night, the Ramos family came here to pray and to thank every officer standing vigil here.
This family is destroyed. Wow, it's just crazy. This is really crazy, man.
Why is this happening? How do you explain this to your children? How do you explain this to your kids?
The first of the funerals, Saturday at this Brooklyn church, is expected to be huge. JetBlue now offering to comp flights for men and women in blue from other parts of the country who plan to attend. Officer Ramos's funeral set to take place here tomorrow at 10. Vice President Biden plans to attend. Officer Liu's funeral has yet to be scheduled. The NYPD apparently taking time to allow family members to get here from China. Paula?
All right, David, thanks for that report this morning.
And we begin with a dramatic scene in Los Angeles, a fire breaking out inside a motel. And look at this. Neighbors helping rescue people trapped on the 2nd floor, standing on each other's shoulders to reach those gasping for air outside of their windows. It took 100 firefighters to put that fire out. 5 people had to be hospitalized, but authorities say it would have been much worse had those people not jumped into action. Also happening overnight, a protest against police brutality turned violent in Oakland. Demonstrators vandalized the city's Christmas tree, broke store windows, and it set at least 1 fire. Organizers called the protest No Time Off, saying they wanted to keep police busy on Christmas. And people around the world are pausing to remember the victims of that tsunami that devastated southern Asia 10 years ago today. Families of the 230,000 people who died gathered to pray at memorials across Indonesia, Thailand, India, and Sri Lanka today. One man saying after the tsunami, nobody fights with each other anymore. And take a look at these stunning before and after pictures, showing just how far the region has come in rebuilding the entire villages you're talking about that were swept away 10 years ago, now bustling with activity. Tsunami warning systems and other emergency procedures are now in place in hopes of preventing another disaster of that magnitude.
I have another special delivery to tell you about now. This one involves a baby, a big surprise for subway riders. First responders stepping in to deliver a baby on a train in Philadelphia, and TJ is on that story. Good morning to
this,
you.
of course, is a day where people are talking about really one of the most celebrated births in history, the most famous birth in history. But on Christmas Day, we got a little reminder of those humble beginnings of Jesus. But instead of a manger and 3 wise men, we got a subway car and 2 transit cops.
Female in labor aboard train car 1166.
It was the Christmas delivery that caught everybody by surprise.
Hearing her say my water broke.
An expectant mom going into labor Thursday night while riding this Philadelphia subway car.
And a baby on Christmas on the L. Couldn't believe it. So I rushed downstairs.
Transit officer Daniel Caban was the first on the scene, meeting the train as it arrived at the station.
I was like, hey guys, get your gloves. He had his gloves ready. I said, you glove, come on.
He and his partner, Officer Darrell James, quickly turning the train car into a delivery room.
I have 3 kids. My wife's pregnant again, so it was just get in there and help. I mean, that's what we do.
Fellow strap hangers whipping out their smartphones to capture that miraculous moment.
The umbilical cord was wrapped around the neck a little bit, cleared that, make sure everything was cool. Other than that, healthy baby boy.
The impromptu delivery, a success. The little bundle of joy seen on the train's surveillance camera before he and mom were taken to the hospital.
It's like such a joy just to see a baby born, on a train, like you're not expecting it.
This morning, mom and her surprise gift are both doing well and grateful for those 2 officers who now have an unforgettable Christmas memory of their own.
We delivered a baby for her, so it's like her Christmas present, but it's also like a blessing and a present for myself.
All right, let's take you to L.A. where, we're going to start with L.A. where it's actually cold, getting into the Christmas spirit on the day after. Happy Boxing Day, by the way. Currently, we have winds that are gusting over 20 miles an hour in Long Beach and Palmdale. That means a wind chill of 43 degrees in Burbank. That's scarves and Uggs territory for sure. Frost and freeze advisories in some of the inland valleys. Meanwhile, a mild air across much of the south, and all that mild air is pushing up into the northeast. It was one of the mildest Christmases on record across Chicago and New York, and today will be no different. Even though that front is through, we'll still see temperatures that will be above average. Meanwhile, some snow in Denver with a high of 19 degrees.